Let's do the news.
Bobby's Big
Stories.
Kevin Costner not returning to Yellowstone. He announced end of last week on Instagram he's not coming back. By the way, he'll be on the show this Friday. He said he wanted to reach out, let everybody know he'd been working on Horizon, the movie, and he will not be returning to Yellowstone. He's 69. Nice. I thought he was older than that. I like the Kevin Costner gray, too. Like, he just let it go gray.
His look?
Yeah. No dye. He just looks good. Looks good gray.
So where is he in the storyline? Like,
no idea. I stopped watching it. I liked it, but I stopped watching it and never went back to it because Amy.
I don't know why we. I watched.
You don't want to spoil anything.
No. I watched Yellowstone. Yeah.
Good for
Smart,
you.
Amy.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
The show obviously changes like every show does, and then everybody has storylines and roles, and his role got a little nutty.
wasn't he governor or something?
Well, you
Well,
just can't.
I never watched it, dude, so I didn't. What I spoil? Like I literally heard this on.
He did something where he wasn't so. Okay, he was an astronaut. I'll be honest.
Crazy.
But it did get a little odd, and so I stopped watching it.
Yeah.
The last thing I watched was to see Lainey when Lainey Wilson had a couple spots in it. I was like, let me watch how Lainey is. I thought she was great, and then I just kind of stopped watching it. Got a little weird for me. Summer memory loss. This is from the University of Missouri. Psychologists found that children typically forget 1 in 3 months worth of schooling during the summer. Math and spelling skills suffer the most. The likely reason, most kids at least read a little bit, so their reading doesn't go downhill, but their spelling and math muscles only get work at school. Amy, your thoughts?
Well, my son is currently at summer school right now for this exact reason. And then my daughter, she has certain exercises. Like she had a tutoring thing last night. It's only for 30 minutes a week, but still with them, I want to keep that going, exercising those muscles.
If you have younger kids, if you have a baby and they drop its blanket or its binky on the floor, don't pick it up and put it back in the kid's mouth. Researchers at Clemson University dropped different things on the floor just to show how bad it would be to take it and put it in your mouth. Even things like a blanket that aren't going to suck up things because they're moist, wet.
Yeah.
Because they drop bologna, and obviously bologna is going to pick up more.
Everything sticks to that.
And they dropped it and immediately picked it up and then measured the bacteria. It was disgusting. But then they dropped like a pacifier. Then they dropped like a blanket. And they say no matter how fast it's picked up, wash a dropped pacifier with water and dry it with a paper towel before you give it back to your kid. And the same thing with the blanket if you can. Don't let them take it and put it back in their mouth.
A blanket.
That's from Consumer Reports. Unless you want to build a really healthy immune system.
Right.
That's how I'd look at it. It's like, I'm getting them sick, so they always have that. This, and I have to be careful with this story, so nobody really hop in here. Amy, you can. I trust you. So women will go in and get shots to plump their lips or cheeks or whatever that is, right? Familiar? Guys are, not all guys, this is a new service, are getting, hold on, services to plump their genitals.
Okay. So y'all, they're getting filler.
Don't say y'all, because I have nothing to do with this. I don't want even y'all to be mentioned.
So men are getting filler down there.
So Dr. Schaefer is the guy who's in the story. He said he used to do about 1 procedure a month. Now he does 10 to 20 a week. However, injecting filler into the genitals has not been approved by the FDA, which means this treatment isn't monitored or regulated by medical authorities. Though many doctors insist that when performed correctly, it's perfectly safe, it turns out most patients who undergo this procedure do not have a deficit that needs correcting. In fact, most that go get it done are, the doctor says, above AVG.
Well, then why in the world do that and like even risk fertility stuff? I mean,
Well, I don't.
I'm not saying it.
Have I opened the room
I can't say anything.
to you two over there? I have not, because I don't trust it.
Got a lot to say here.
Amy, go ahead.
I feel like I'm sort of just speechless, but I do have an idea in that maybe some man on the show gets it done to see what it's about.
Oh, you say it's a
On
bit,
the
we spin the wheel.
I mean, Eddie got hair. Might as well get this.
Oh my gosh. You
On a
imagine?
first visit to the clinic, it's common for patients to need 10 to 15 syringes.
That's a lot.
About $15,000, the doctor said. Top-up visits, where they just top it off, tend to get way less than even half of that.
So filler migrates sometimes, and I'm like, where is it going to migrate to? Like sometimes in lips, like they put it
Down
in
into
and
the
it'll
coals?
move up. Do what?
Could it go down to the coals? The testicles.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. I thought they were getting injected.
No,
no.
Why?
Why would you get your
What in the world?
Why would you get a scrot injection and make your that bigger? That was a rumor I tried to start about myself though a long time ago, just to see if it ever came back to me that I had a huge scrotum, and it never came back to me. So no one really spread that rumor.
Oh, I'm
but no,
glad
you
you
don't want
clarified.
that.
What are you talking about,
I
Amy?
thought they were
Amy.
injecting your balls.
No.
Amy.
You missed the whole story.
No,
you were
I
the only
didn't.
one that commented,
No,
and you were
I
commenting on the wrong
didn't.
thing.
No, Bobby said they're male parts, and I immediately started thinking.
Okay, twigs and berries, twigs.
I started thinking berries,
Yeah, no, not berries.
but you didn't clarify.
Everybody knew.
Everybody
No,
knew.
there's no conversation ever about guys measuring their berries.
Why would
Stop
we
doing
want
your
that?
hands like that.
That's
I
funny.
thought they wanted them more full.
No, we don't give a crap about that. Matter of fact, sometimes I don't even think I have two. I think one's like up.
Okay.
It's like I can't even find,
Oh my gosh.
a ninja
Okay.
can
I get-
eliminate those.
I get it now. I was wondering the whole time. I'm like, why would y'all want to do that? I get it now.
Yeah.
Well, your instinct was right. Like, why would we want to do that?
We're
Because
with
we
you on
wouldn't.
that.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's a thing.
Okay.
I mean, should we call a doctor here in town to see if they do that? Or like
For what? To see if somebody does it?
just
Well-
a general curiosity.
I mean, that is
Well,
they're
now-
not going to put anybody out. They're not going to punk anybody. But I'm saying if a doctor would do this procedure here.
Well, so Lunchbox can call around and ask.
Hey.
But what kind of doctor do I have to call? Just a regular doctor?
Or like
don't
some
think
sort
so.
of esthetician.
Yeah, you would
somebody
call
that
someone
injects.
who probably does like plastic surgery.
Yes.
Someone like that.
Like an injector that has a nurse, or like Bobby said, yeah.
Whenever
We can ask
so
Dr. Lucky.
I got Botox into my
yeah.
temples because I was grinding my teeth so hard. My dentist did that.
That's
So maybe you can go to the dentist
put it in.
and have them inject
Oh, boy.
while you're knocked out.
You here to get your teeth cleaned? No, man, I'm here for the
No, I feel
injection.
like dentists they only are allowed to touch neck up.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
That
weird.
makes sense.
But
I-
we could ask our dentist.
I have really strong like
He's
head
cool.
muscles because I grind so hard, and it's not a brag. It sucks, but I grind so hard to break my teeth. So my dentist was like, "Hey, I can give you
in
it
your
was-
temple,
it was-
in your masseters, right here. You did it temple in
jaw
here. 'Cause-
and like the temple."
You still doing that?
I haven't done it since then.
I thought you looked a little
Do I
slimmer.
look older in my temple and masseter?
Yeah, you're
Maybe I need to
sagging a
go
little
get it
there.
done again. Yeah. I think that's enough for the news. There it is. That's good.
Those were Bobby's Big
Stories.
I do also want to mention this CMA Fest, which is going to be on television on ABC tomorrow night, 8/7 Central. 4 days of awesome performances. It's a 3-hour TV event. Jelly Roll, Ashley McBride hosting it, and so many awesome people are playing it. Luke Bryan, Jordan Davis, Hardy. It's going to be good tomorrow night. CMAfest.com/TV special if you guys want to see it there. That should be a heck of a show tomorrow night, ABC. Bill Belichick, former coach of the Patriots, 72. His girlfriend's 24, former cheerleader of the Patriots. And that's basically the story. We talked about it, I think, on Friday's show. They're together. They're happy. We love it. Don't we, everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we
Love
don't
is
get
love.
It, but,
What's that?
yeah, I said we don't get it, but
No, we get it.
or like we wouldn't.
You maybe don't get it, but we get it.
Right.
Yeah. So there is an update to the story because we talked about, what would they have in common?
What do they talk about?
Yeah, like, what's up? So I saw over the weekend that her ex-boyfriend has come out. Now, would you be upset if you're her ex-boyfriend and now all of a sudden he's with some old dude? She's with some old dude, some
Unless
72-year-old.
you're gonna shock us and he's also old.
He's also old.
Okay, see, so this is her thing.
Oh.
So her thing is either she's into old dudes because she has some daddy issue or she's a professional gold digger.
Or she could just naturally be attracted to older.
That's what I just
men,
said.
but
Yeah.
not because of any dad issues.
But you're not naturally attracted to older men, way older men unless there's some sort of issue because that's not natural.
I agree. Just trying to be, thoughtful towards her.
I'm not trying to be thoughtful. She either has some sort of older dude issue, which has created this attraction, or she likes, and there's nothing wrong with if she likes the money. It's not like she's a prostitute. Everybody has a reason that you get with somebody. But her ex-boyfriend has come out in defense of her and Bill Belichick.
Oh.
His name is Josh Zuckerman. He says him and her, she was 23 at the time, again, he's 64. They met several years ago, that they had an on-off relationship. They became an item after finding common interests in business, philosophy, psychology, and nature conversations.
Oh,
Nature.
deep.
Her
Also-
relationship with the businessman ceased not too long before she started seeing Belichick, which means she probably left old to go to older,
But
or
also,
rich to go to richer, maybe.
if she's 24 now with Bill, was 23 with him, and this guy's like, I met her several years ago. How old was she when they met? Because was that like, hopefully,
Did they say
18?
several? They say they met several years
you
ago.
Just said, you just said he's like, we met several years ago, and
Zuckerman and Hudson, 23, had an on-off again relationship and became an item after finding common interests. Huh. I don't know, but it sounds like she definitely has the type of guy, and this isn't a one-off.
yeah. Okay.
And maybe Belichick knew that, and it's like, she's hot and she likes old dudes. Let's rock and roll, baby. He
So
turns
you're
his hat
saying
around
there's a
backward.
chance.
Yeah.
He has his Patriots hat on. He goes, flips it
Let's go.
like over the top.
Let's ride.
It's time for Bill and old 8 rings. Isn't that the name of his boat?
Yes.
Yeah, his yacht.
8 rings to get into action. Hudson and Belichick, which, by the way, he was still with his longtime girlfriend, Linda Holliday, met on a flight in 2021. They took a selfie together. I guess this was the original meeting of the two. They just took a selfie, and then they hit it off. She was working on school.
Of course. She was doing her homework.
He helped her with her math.
And the coach even signed her copy of Deductive Logic, which he wrote, and then their relationship became public. So she went from a 64-year-old to a 72-year-old.
I need to know when he got her number because it's like, okay, selfie, but then what?
DMs probably, right?
Snail mail. Dude, he's too old for DMs.
I was about to be like, did he
Yeah.
tag
You know, he
her
wrote her a
on
registered letter, for sure.
Facebook?
But she has a type. TMZ Sports has a story, too, and it's basically the same thing. Zuckerman felt the need to hush everyone up because people had lashed out accusing her of being a gold digger. He said, no, she just has a type. It sounds like the type's older, rich men.
Zuckerman was rich.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Zuckerman. He looks rich. He's on a boat with her, a big boat. Anybody
yeah.
on a big boat that's on a
Yeah.
fishing boat, I feel like is pretty rich.
Is he related to Mark?
Also,
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg, that's not the same name.
Dang.
Also, it doesn't matter. Nobody's doing anything wrong. So as much fun as we're, ha, 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 who cares? Like, these are adults. They're consenting adults. Nobody's getting hurt. People's lives are enriched. Nobody's doing anything illegal. And as long as people are happy and nobody's getting hurt, no kids or animals are suffering, turn your hat around. Rock and roll is what I say.
Go get it.
Everybody's benefiting if everybody's happy.
Yeah.
It'd just be weird to see them naked.
Well, good thing we're not going to see that.
Could. There's
Let's
always-
hope not.
Tapes could come out.
And X.
No.
AKA Twitter. It's called X, right? The official name?
X, yeah.
Nobody's ever going to call it that. They allow dirty stuff now on it.
I
What do you
wouldn't know.
mean? What do you mean dirty stuff?
We talked about it on the show, didn't we?
Oh.
We did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know because
It's crazy. Right after we talked about that, I got hacked.
What?
What
No.
do
What's
you
the
think
connection?
that has to do with anything?
I'm just saying, maybe the dirty people came over and got my.
The dirty people? You're one of the dirty people.
Yeah, no, maybe they won't want me watching their videos. I don't know, but that's kind of a
just
coincidence.
convict yourself?
Thing ever, yeah. All right, let's play Thomas. We're at 16. Bobby Bone Show. Thank you, guys. This made a bunch of the news sites, like country music news sites. We had Terry Clark on the show. You would know Terry from Better Things to Do.
Better things to do.
Super funny, great guest. Massive star back in the 90s as well. But here she is talking about turning down the offer to do Playboy about 20 years ago.
20 years ago, there was an online poll, what female country singer would you like to see pose for Playboy? And I came in, I don't remember who was first and who was second, but me and Shania Twain, who could not be more polar opposite 20 years ago, especially, came in top 2. I don't understand why. So they came to me and offered me, I'm just going to say $1 million 20 years ago, which is more like 3 right now. And then my manager, Clarence, I said, there's no way I'm posing. Like, meet and greets can get weird enough as it is. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine they bring that in to have you sign? Oh,
Seriously,
my God.
Man. And then, so Clarence, this is the funniest story. Marnie, my day-to-day manager at the time, walked into my manager, Clarence Spalding's office, and he says, well, they said you can just show, you can go topless for like this amount of money. The full Monty, you get the full $1 million. So he's negotiating body parts to pose for Playboy. And I just said, Clarence, that all sounds like if I wanted a money grab, I would have done it. But I was just like, I can't. I just can't. I have too many young girls that are looking up to me. And I've always been pretty buttoned up. I'm not one of these people I'm very modest about my body and I don't to show all anyway. And I said, this would go against every single thing I stand for. Being a strong woman, what's between your ears is more important than what's between everything else. So I said no. And I'm really glad I made that decision and didn't let greed or the dollars, in that scenario. And not even 6 months later, I was asked to become a member of the Opry. And I don't know that would have happened. Right?
Yeah. That full interview is up on our podcast late last week. Go search for the Bobby Bone Show podcast. Listen to it. She's a wonderful guest. And everywhere I looked on all the country music sites, that story was popping up. The $1 million in Playboy story. Check it out. Back in a second. Eddie, your kids are saying something and you don't like what they're saying, even though it's not a curse word.
Correct.
Okay, tell me about it.
They're saying, like, adults say this in a way of just saying, like,
Wait, what are the kids saying?
they're saying no dip.
But they mean no S?
Correct. So, like, if they're saying, like, oh, man, it's so hot outside, and the other one goes, yeah, no dip.
I mean, my son says no dip. It's a joke.
But they're meaning to say the bad word.
But if the word is bad, if they're not saying it, it doesn't matter. So what do you have a problem with the fact that they're thinking it?
I mean, you've always said it's just a word, right?
It's just a sound.
It's just a sound.
And I've said that if you get on an airplane and you travel 7 hours and you land, that same exact sound coming out of your mouth means nothing.
Right.
It's just we've assigned an emotion to a sound, and all of a sudden we can't make the sound.
Right.
But we can have the emotion.
And this emotion is the intent of saying no.
Yeah, but I get it. It said, like, that's like, oh, it's raining, no dip. Then there's the, like, hey, to my son, Stevenson, Bobby got you a PlayStation 5. No dip.
Nice.
Like, it's however you want to.
It's the same thing, though.
Yeah, I know,
Okay, but did you
Would
ever
we
say
have a problem if they said the actual word?
Do you have a problem if he says, no way?
No way. I
what
don't
about
know that.
freaking?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
No.
same thing. They say that, and I have the same kind of feeling with that.
What about that sucks?
Yeah, we all know what that means.
I know, but do they say that?
No, they do not
Okay,
say
but
that.
we said all of this as a kid.
Wait,
Oh.
your kids don't say anything sucks?
No, they do not say that.
What about this blows?
Definitely not.
So in that vein, we're good.
No.
Okay.
Okay. What about
Can you say the other one?
What about crap?
like?
bullcrap?
Well, what
Yeah.
do you use a screwdriver for?
Screwing?
Yeah, like
Screw you?
Yeah, that one.
Same.
They can't say that one.
Yeah, but I don't really, that's mean.
I feel like no dip is
Screw you.
fine.
It's no dip. No dip. I kind of like laugh when my son says
Can we
it.
use no dip on the show?
No, you can't.
Why not?
Because he'll be using it 100 times and it'll just be annoying.
See, I think my
No
kids
dip,
do
I
that
won't.
too. My kids do that too because they know that it's a word that they can say, but they're meaning it like it's the bad word.
Have you told them they can't say no dip?
No.
I think no dip is fine. And if you act like it's nothing, then they're not going to be pushing it all the time on you.
It's just weird, dude, because I know what they're trying to say.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky too when your kids start to get a little bit older. Like my daughter's 17 and like an actual word came out of her mouth the other day.
Hilarious.
And I thought it was out of frustration at her brother, a whole situation.
Which one?
And it was valid.
Dip, freak.
I can't say.
Is it what?
But
Wait,
but
freak.
yeah, freak would be the
Yeah.
F word. We're just
Oh.
using the
What it starts with. Okay. Let's see.
we're using the fake word for it.
Yeah.
That
So
placeholder.
it
Or like
Ray,
bit?
get ready for the drop button because I don't
No,
think
there's been a couple times, so I'm trying to picture one. But this one incident, I believe it was the freak.
Okay.
And to me, it was valid. And also at home, in moments of frustration, I have said things. So I can't necessarily blame her for in a moment of frustration, which I've gone back and said, hey, shouldn't have said it that way, but sometimes when you're frustrated and it does feel really good, and she did say it, and she's going to be 18 next year, and it's like she may want to cuss every once in a while. And at her age, I never cussed. I didn't cuss until like 2 years ago, and I'm 43. So I was always uptight about cussing, and I just don't know that I'm going to be that way with my kids. I'm definitely not going to be that way with no dip.
You're not going to hell for cussing, everybody. You're not going to hell for cussing.
No.
It's a simple sound. If you say the same sound
You're
forever
talking
away,
to adults, right?
talking to everybody listening to the show.
No, not
But
the
it's
kids.
And I don't curse. I don't curse because I don't want to create because I feel like a lot of people who create cursing can use that as a crutch, and it's just funny. You can just yell the F word. Sometimes it's just funny. So I stopped cursing and thinking in cursing because I just I don't want to ever fall back on that crutch if I was doing stand up or if I was writing. But I would say it's like the clothes that you wear. There are some places, time and place for everything. Time and place for a suit jacket. Time and place for a button up. Time and place for a cutoff. The place you can wear a cutoff, the place you can pretty much say freak. Time and place for cursing and words you use in public situationally.
It's a respect thing as well.
And if you live with your parents and they're paying for everything, you live in their house, don't say it around
Absolutely.
them.
If that's their rule.
That's right.
Have
That-
you ever slipped up, Eddie, and said a cuss word around your kids?
I thought you said my parents. I still don't curse around my parents.
Seriously?
And we're adults. I won't do it.
That's interesting. I don't cuss around my
And my dad cusses around me.
Oh,
What about?
I don't have them.
Yeah.
What's up?
Oh my gosh.
you missed that joke. And
Yeah.
he
It's
not
slipped
even
I
a
it
was
joke.
in.
waiting for
It's
Bobby's
It's not
like,
even a joke.
I never cuss
I was just
around
gonna let
my
it keep
dad.
going. You don't curse around yours. Do you drink beer in front of them?
By my parents?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Same thing. Some people just value the other more than the other.
Sure.
Yeah,
Some
like-
people will go, I would never drink in front of my parents, but I cuss in front of them. It's just a value system you were given as a kid. You're not going to hell for saying curse words, period. I wouldn't say them in church because you're not being respectful.
Or school, because you say it in school, you get in trouble.
Exactly.
You
So
wear
there's
certain clothes to
time and
school,
place.
you get in trouble.
Right.
Time and place.
And then even with the parent thing, it's situational. Like my mom, I never cussed in her home. I didn't cuss in my dad's because, again, I didn't cuss then. But my dad cussed all the time, and he wouldn't have cared if I did. Like, it's just,
House divided.
It is interesting how all over the place something like that could be about words. But bottom line is when it's disrespectful, then that's when it's a problem in my house.
And also, some words people don't even consider curse words anymore. Like callers or people will be guests on the show, and they'll say a word not thinking it's a curse word because they use it just like it were anything else.
Yeah.
I wrote a thesis in college based on the 7 words you can't say on the radio, right? And so it was like 70 pages, and I got up and presented it. And it was like, my theory was eventually all of these words will be allowed on public broadcast. And some of them are now of them. So some words, like the A word. Some
You
people,
can say that now?
oh, yeah, I
on
can
the
say it
radio?
on the air, sure. I
But that
don't.
was one of the original 7 dirty words or whatever.
And the P word that rhymes with hiss.
Oh.
Oh, I don't
Really?
like that word.
You like
Why
that?
not?
You can't say that?
I just don't like. That's one where I'm like, if my
We don't say that.
we don't say it, I don't say it, and if my kids say it, I'm like, we need a new word for your anger.
I'll say that not on the show.
But even if
But I don't feel like that's a curse word.
if something makes you mad, you can't say that one?
No, I do.
Like that.
Yeah, I say that off the show. I don't say it on the show because I don't want people to listen thinking they may hear that slip out sometimes. But I don't feel like that's a curse word. It used to be considered a kind of a curse word.
Yeah. So no dip? What do you think?
I'm all good with it. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, no dip.
And at least I'm not saying the S word.
You should hear him say it. They're like, yeah, no dip.
Because they're
idiot.
probably saying no dip even away from you.
Oh, for sure, all the time.
Instead of saying no S away from you.
Yeah,
Which
that's
they
good.
easily could be doing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I check through text messages too to make sure we're not texting cuss words, because then
Is that against the rules?
yeah, because again, when my daughter did do it, it was out of an emotional situation where she was letting something out. I don't want her to be just going around cussing all the time, but if she's just throwing out texts back and forth to friends and using cuss words, then I'm gonna be like, that's gonna hurt my heart, because I just don't want her to have it in her that way. But also, I'm trying not. I want the big deal things to be the big deal things and not overthink some of the smaller things, like if she's out of anger and needs to say a cuss word.
We have a weird relationship with sounds.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I get it. Because, I mean, I don't like the P, like you just said, I don't like the P word.
Which P word do you think I'm saying? What's it rhyme with?
Psst.
Okay. 'Cause
Wait.
there's another,
I don't like that one
Because
either.
there's another P word.
No, it's
that
way worse.
that
Way
I'm like,
worse.
I
yeah.
hate that word.
'Cause that word,
I
that, ain't,
hate
that
it.
ain't that good a word. Then there's a C word. That one's a bad.
No.
That was a bad one.
I don't even know that I've ever said that one. Ugh.
Hey, that's the next bet. We may say that.